best.
You could make a documentary about
Yeah.
me just off of visas.
Yeah.
Here's our maps, of course, best of one series.
No repeat at Villa or Consulate. Those early to go. I was going to say maybe Clubhouse, but nope. Maybe Bank. Border.
So border.
All right.
Okay, we're gonna have off of our potential 8 matches today, we've seen 1 repeat map, border. So every single game has been a new map.
Yeah.
Except for this, Cafe Dostoevsky is the only other map that has not been played.
So it'll be interesting to see.
Maybe our last game, Dark Zero, this is G, would be on Cafe Dostoevsky. Who knows?
I hope so.
What do you guys think, though?
Yeah,
I always
who's-
appreciate your info.
Wow, a lot favoring United, maybe just because Tempo Storm, since qualifying, has not done so great in pretty much anything. So I can understand why there's a little lack of faith, but United also hasn't been up to a lot either.
I mean, to quote Stokes, Yeti is the one that wants it the most.
And maybe that's what it is because Yeti wants it the most, and because he's apparently the hardest working player that Stokes has ever met. You know, I mean, the fact that Stokes has been a player is already impressive. But Yeti, definitely a player who's managed to come into Pro League, leave back to Challenger League, and come back multiple times. He's definitely persistent, though, and see if he can reign in this game here.
Hey, man. No trash talking, Blue Eyes White Dragon. Thank you so much.
Yeah. I do hope Reed is going to be a good stand-in, though.
Yeah, I'll see.
Given, I don't know what he's playing for at this point. I mean, I imagine he's getting paid, but he's not playing necessarily for a permanent spot on the roster. An IQ ban, interesting one you don't see often.
I hope that the way he's playing doesn't really telegraph things and makes the way United are playing more of an open book for Tempo Storm to read into.
Book's not here. Interesting bans, though. IQ to go, so I gotta imagine Valkyrie's gonna want to be played.
I think
Echo maybe as well.
100%. You have to. Well, okay, now
We know Goyo's really strong on this from what LG did during quals, so that could be the last ban, but you're going to want to consider Valkyrie.
you have to.
Or,
honestly,
well, no, obviously not, because this is a team that banned IQ already.
Echo, Valkyrie, yeah, I think United might just ban the Maestro at the end.
Maybe Echo or Maestro, yeah.
I think they'll go for standard ones. Yeah, Echo. Makes sense.
All right, we'd better see that Goyo on this map. Come on now. It's 2 maps now. You guys have disappointed me. Why do we release new operators if you're not going to play them?
We didn't have Goyo in the last game, did Oh, my God. Devin, you made that video for nothing?
I'm trying to encourage it, okay? Just play it. The exploding shields are fun to watch. Everything's on fire. Bring a Capitao and a Goyo, and then everything just burning up. It's fun.
Pro League commentary brought to you by... By who?
You waiting for me?
Yes, I know. I'm looking at you like...
I think everyone knows who we are at this
Michael
point.
Bay Explosion. Blam.
Yeah, that would be interesting. There is a helicopter on this map after all. Nomad 6-pick there. That's always a very useful one on this map, and why you often see Nomad banned on border. But instead the IQ got banned, so Filthy's going to take advantage of that 6th pick.
All right.
We got
Shop
there as well.
I think that Valkyrie is going to be really tough to deal with.
Oh, it is tough to deal with. I mean, you've got, for example, the old coconut broth throw and the smoke on the car spot. It's really difficult to deal with, for example, especially with an IQ.
I mean, you can literally call any Valkyrie position a coconut bra position. Also, anything that has to do with tarps.
Yeah, there's no more of that. Maybe next new map will have tarps.
I wish. Honestly, I actually really like the position.
Yeah.
Can we just add tarps to all the maps?
Yeah, let's just throw them up. That would be weird on this map. I mean, there is the one bird's nest. It's kind of interesting. That faces towards CCTV window. They are going to be going vents first, though. That is an interesting choice. I mean, it's not as uncommon as, say, starting Trophy on Villa was. But, you know, Armory Lockers Archive is still a strong bomb site. But that might be why we're not seeing Goyo, right? Because they're not playing that site yet. Because he's so strong in Armory Lockers.
Yeah, you just put him on the main armory wall and you're just going to have so many. Oh, boy!
I see. 4. That's probably over the typical Kanto spot there.
Yeah, it was thrown over the top rope, and nobody looked up below. And next thing you know, you were on the floor.
It's a good first round thing to do because, of course, you don't have to repeat it after that. But, you know, you haven't done anything yet, so they don't know what to expect. Another bandit play as well that we're going to see here. Thatcher is available this time, though, so that will probably be... Battery's gone. He's got 2 in his pocket, but he's more concerned with fragging. It's Yeti, after all. Let's get them kills, and he's getting ready for it.
He wants to go for the run.
He wants to. He doesn't have a lot of intel to work with, although there might be some Valkyrie camps. There is a pest right there as well. You can see, stop him from being dropped.
Oh!
It doesn't work. Butter's on top. It takes no damage, thanks to the pillars.
Of course, this setup is really low on reinforcements because this is armor is not the focus right now. The defense is downstairs in workshop vents, so this is why you don't have much to when it comes to utility.
If you could
can't
burn 2
afford
minutes for them to take upstairs, that's a decent start, and they're on their way to doing that.
Well, three reinforcements we've been able to see have been used here upstairs, and at least slowing down Tempo Storm for a bit. We're down to 1:20 left. You exchange the Zofia for the Bandit. It's a pretty good exchange. Unfortunately, the Thermite there still is alive. It's not the most important operator to have later on to breach in because the defense was forced to put those reinforcements upstairs. So it's more about having the Zofia in that case, or the Sledge. Actually, the Sledge, funnily enough, he's gonna be the one that's lost. Forrest will walk off for just a second. Nobody spotted on the rappel. No! Creators on the reverse rappel finds Forrest, takes him out. Now it's Reed, gets 1 kill, and it turns it into a 1v2. Will they walk right into his sight? Yes, but it's Dream that's ready, and he hits the shot. That's Reed dead, and Tempo Storm secure their first round. A bit hectic here, a lot of frags and a lot of kills. Not much happening on the site itself.
Yeah.
All the work and all the effort was upstairs.
2 of those kills from almost the same rappel as well. That was definitely not the play. The aggression from the C4, sure, it worked, but the aggression outside of that really didn't help them, and they threw a couple of bodies away in trying to take out players outside. Unfortunately, didn't pay off in the end, and Reed stuck in a 2v1 position at the end. Obviously not ideal, especially with the at that long of a range. It is difficult to hit that. We will see them go to armory lockers, though, having failed down vents. You know, they were trying something, didn't work, so they're going to change it up. Again, no Goyo, though. Maybe they're expecting it to be banned, much like no one wanted to play Mira even when Mira wasn't banned, just because, well, it was always banned for the most part, so you didn't expect it. See both teams really not liking this map too much, so it's funny to see them both go on it. Obviously, they try to work on their weaknesses and shore up how they play this map, but it does seem like it is a well-matched map for the 2 teams based off of that, although one of the teams having won it once. Despite no Goyo, though, we are going to see a deployable shield from Forrest on the Alibi. Of course, Mozzie going to be bringing no mute, but they have the Alibi to help. So they can potentially stop some drones from spotting whether or not those Prismas are real early on. So it can be helpful to Alibi. And they will, of course, take advantage of the Maestro being available.
Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb.
See when Pest being set up downstairs in the workshop. You can hear him launch that. Classic Maestro cam there to be able to watch basically all of our archives from above because it can see the door as well as the fountain side. So far, Creator is the only one really kind of unevening thing, as most players either have 1 or 0. So binary-looking scoreboard for the most part.
Is it on or not?
I wonder if he threw an Alibi outside.
He did.
That always makes it fun for runouts. So because you're so used to seeing enemy detected outside, it doesn't trigger you the same way, and you don't react the same way. So if someone jumps out outside while that's already going off, you don't think about it as instantly. It gives someone an advantage. Because you saw, for example, we had players being spotted outside last time. Interesting that Callout's going to take up the Bandit instead of Yeti. Yeah, switch roles, but hey, he's already doing a better job on it.
Perfectly done. There's nobody nading from the skylight. And that is a position that is so strong.
That's the counterplay to this Bandit, is you down the chimney. This particular position right here that you see Butters droning from, he needs to be the one to throw that. He has 1 grenade left in pocket, but is he gonna catch up with the right time? Come on, you know he's there. Just do something about it with your grenade.
I mean, you have 1 hard breacher, right? You only have that Thermite, and he's already used 1 of his charges. It's already a lot, considering the fact that you need the second one to really allow you to enter into archives, unless you're just gonna go for a rush. So, yeah, I'm already very happy about all of this. If I'm eUnited, on top of it, Not just,
Bomb located.
okay, hey, there's no more thermite charges available, but also now Fountain is going to be way more difficult to deal with because eUnited fallback, they have their bandit batteries that are now set on it. And, well, finally, the alibi is actually going to lose out on... No, it's just going to be there. It's going to be so annoying to just look at it, and Arita will find the first kill. This is huge, taking down the Zofia. No stun lock possibilities. It's going to be extra difficult to clear out the Maestro and the Bandit in the back, and there's the shot from Yeti! 1 kill for him, but he'll get shut down right after. No more grenades available, so for the Zofia and that the Sledge, it's a good trade.
Good flash push attempt there. Thermite actually wins that without taking any damage in return. Probably completely blinded, but Reed trades it. Still 3v2 advantage as, there we go, Filthy goes down. Creators, not much he could do at that point. Reed getting a couple kills that round, trying to show he deserves a spot on this team. After being stuck in that clutch position last round, they definitely were a lot more effective this round. Call Out, I think, did a great job on that Bandit, tricking it, and like you said, falling back and not getting grenaded allowed them to hold Fountain for so long. Yes, he eventually lost the fight, but they held it for so long. They were able to keep the Maestro alive as well. His position spotted, so he rotated down. Will we see it stick? For Bathroom Tellers, interestingly enough, I can see the utility there. There's quite a few good choke points to funnel that. Now, this is problematic for the players on Temple Storm. Because
finally,
there's the Ash. That's what I was going to say, is they only have 2 soft breachers in terms of the grenades from Sledge and Zophia's to take out those Goyo shields, but that's why they bring that Ash 6-pick there.
The fact that you still have to use all that utility to deal with the shields, the Volcan, it's reason enough to bring Goyo, right? Just the fact that you're using up that utility. And I know you're the man with a plan when it comes to Goyo and how things are right now, so please.
I mean, right now, there's pretty much 2 ways he gets used. His shield's either there for denial of area, usually the plant, or, for example, the spot Call-Out's at right now, similar to that position, a little bit further over towards the window, does deny planting in the typical corner spot if it were the upstairs bomb site, which it's not, so they don't need it there. But it's either that or it's for angles to play and then be able to retreat and set them on fire. Castle barricades as well. This is a great combo. So we talk about the amount of soft breachers they have. What's going to suck up other soft breachers? The castle barricades, and they don't have a Habana to hit it with the X-Kairos. The Sledge is available at least, though that will help possibly preserve some utility if they can get up and close to those.
I think Tempo Storm are really leaning into that Thatcher, but I don't know how much it helped them having the Thatcher, considering the fact that the previous round, not only did they have the Sledge, but also that Thatcher, and it still wasn't enough to push back the singular Bandit.
Yeah, it's lack of coordination on those takes. I mean, you really need to practice taking against Bandit tricks, against Kaid tricks, things like that are so common. You have to have your timing well. We see even Pro League level teams still struggling with it on maps like Clubhouse, how difficult it can be. But they at least have control of CCTV, trying to set up here. Filthy also has control down below in Workshop, trying to make sure no one rotates and drops good cover there. Creators does take down Yeti in the meantime, so that's the Jaeger off the board. Again, Yeti struggling early, but Caught trades it back onto Butters. So there's that Sledge down. That means these castle barricades much better at sucking up utility now, as you see them playing behind them. Filthy, unfortunately, doing the Ash holding an angle thing really isn't contributing a ton other than cutting off the rotation. But if they don't use that rotation, it's not necessarily accomplishing a lot right now. But they still have a minute 40 to work with. There's one of the lifeline impacts used on Castle Barricade. As of course, you have to barricade that door pretty much if you're playing this site, as you need to control above and offices here. And so far, it looks like they're headed towards the take of offices in the first minute 30, which would be ideal, especially with the rotates cut off by Filthy.
Forrest, though, will be the one to find that kill, and it's a second one here for eUnited's. Tempo Storm will lose Dreaming Butters, and they're so close. You know that there's a player here watching. This is the usual rotation hole for a smoke. Well, in this case, it's the Mute actually playing it. Grixer will take down Crazy. That's one more, and your Zofia, you can just stun there and check. Use your utility for it if nobody's going to be droning for you. And there's one more. Lots of creators dead on the floor. Filthy's last alive. He's got all his breaching rounds left, all stun grenades. It does not matter. Tempo Storm are not really, first of all, dictating the tempo, but number two, not using any of their utility. That's how you lose. eUnited outplay them off of just actually using what their operators have in store for them, and otherwise There wasn't anything really special
No,
that was pulled out.
we didn't even see a ton of use of the Goyo shields, but it was just there was so much utility they needed to burn, and losing the sledge early made him a little more desperate for that. Definitely was a good setup. Overall, it worked quite well in terms of just forcing them to push in to the players of eUnited, and of course Grixer being able to stay alive, like you said, without them stunning him or doing something to take care of him, just lack of intel there. Yes, they kind of knew a player was back there, but I don't know if they were, like, you saw him looking at the wall as if he's thinking, do they have the rotate there? Because sometimes a rotate is put there to be able to rotate in and out of that
Attackers
spot.
need to locate and defuse bombs.
But no, the wall was completely soft but unopened.
It's so weird because as bathroom tellers, right? You kind of have to have this mindset where your push is into office. Use your utility to clear office, to clear armory. Once that's done, you're relatively safe going for the plant, right?
You just have to have good flank coverage.
But what's the problem in the previous round is that they were too afraid, in that case, Tempo Storm, too afraid to use their utility because they wanted to keep it for the actual site.
Yep.
You're like, that's not how this site is played.
Yeah.
You need to clear before you even think about the site.
Well, so far this is the only site that eUnited lost, and they're going back to it. But with how they played the last 2 rounds, and like you said, Tempo Storm just kind of seeming a little more lost in how they want to coordinate their utility and droning. This definitely does look like it could be eUnited taking it 3-1 here to make up for the loss the first time around. There is, again, the Ash being brought this time, I think, not as a 6 pick, just the extra utility, the soft breach being very useful for clearing the castle barricades. They don't have to worry about the Goyo this time, but they don't necessarily know that yet until they drone it to make sure. And if I was eUnited, then I'd just even kind of fake that out and bring a deployable shield to use somewhere that they might be worried is a Goyo shield. Until they spot all 5 players, they don't necessarily know that there's not one in play as a 6th pick. Although it wasn't even a 6th pick last round, which is even funnier.
Yeah, the 6th pick was the castle.
Yeah, that's what I didn't see coming. It was a great combo, though. I mean, they smartly 6th picked to the Ash to have the extra utility either way, but yeah, it just didn't work out. There's one of those cams outside, very useful for Forest. Be able to call out anyone repelling, playing on the vent window. Good attempt from Crazy, but just doesn't land hardly any shots. Forest lives through a lot of that. He's trying to use his camera for a run out there. They are going for the usual armory wall take here. Even though that's not the bomb site, you still have to kind of work on it the same, especially when Yeti is putting up batteries. Try and slow that down, because you've got to be careful, because you could easily lose min trying to take that top floor, and then all of a sudden end up at a disadvantage when time crunches down, and Yeti is still holding this fairly well. Crazy, in the meantime, does find Forest, finally on I assume either second attempted run out or catching him on a rotate.
Regardless, that was the entry that Tempo Storm were really looking for, and Filthy's trying to hold on rotations from below. I'm not sure what he's looking at and checking right now. Maybe just probably has player say, oh, teammate.
Oh, what?
Oh, I can't believe he actually did that flick. He actually hit it as he went for the default cam, turns around, the Zofia smacks Call it in the face. That's the kill. Filthy with another one under Grixer. Reed is last alive. They know where he's at. He's might be able to get 1 kill off of this, but it's done. Flawless for Tempo Storm. Man, this is Storm's a brewing right now.
Yeah, obviously Vent's definitely the weakness for United. That's twice now they've lost it. But they can go back to Armory Lockers now. Definitely worked out as a much better bomb site for them. I can imagine they're going to, and there we go. No reason to keep doubling down on Vents, just not working out. We might even see tellers, bathroom tellers again after this if they don't want to go to Vents, or could see custom hold. We don't see 4 site rotations very often, even when there are 4 decent ones.
Yeah.
Just because a lot of teams, you have to come up with so many alternative strats for sites that you can't afford to do that for 4 sites. It's already like 8 strats minimum. Unless just one of the the 4th site's just a pocket strat and you don't have any other alternatives for it, but still. Fortunately, no Goyo for this. Too bad. If you want to see it, go back and look at how LG played it in the quals against SSG. It was interesting and it worked for them pretty well.
No. I'm still very curious as to what the point of the alibi is.
You know, some people like to play it as a roamer with a gun that's pretty strong. They have the extra ability to open up rotate holes with the bailiff. He's got the deployable shield to assist as well. And it's, you know, some people just feel really comfortable playing it. And the extra, like, delays that you cause with the holograms, especially when you stick them on windows, can be pretty helpful. But, you know, if Forrest just likes it and it works, it doesn't necessarily have to be a heavily strategic pick.
Now, you saw there in the percentages for the map overall, it's one of the, it is literally the closest map, 51% for the defense to 49 attackers. So ending up with a 3-3 half on border is definitely a completely normal thing. It seems like when you're able to gather a couple rounds advantage in a row, it usually propels you forward.
Yeah.
But it's just chaining the rounds on border that sometimes gets a bit
Especially
more
on
complicated.
defense where you can't, you know, if you're successful, you can't play the same side again. Attack maybe a little bit more so, but...
So you have to have kind of a bit more flexibility in your pocket when it comes to those, when it comes to the sights.
The deployable shield actually helping him quite a bit here, unless Butters can clear it. See the Thatcher ADS, or to going off to try and clear any ADSs. But the nade, it looked like he wasn't aware of the shield there. He went to nade the spot behind. That was a bit of a waste, because now the shield's still up. He's still got a frag grenade to go, though. But they need to drone this again now to find out where he's playing.
There you go. Now he spots everything, but unfortunately, they might just have to go for the face check. Grenade's going to be lobbed around the corner, and Butters will... Oh, no! Crazy will get one, but Reed on the refract. Filthy one more on the call-in, and Filthy for another one. Okay, this is how you clear CCTV, I guess. Face check it.
I mean, it's Nash holding an angle and then just pushing in for the trade. It's not a bad position to be in, but Reed really trading it back.
Oh,
that's low health.
That's two. The Ash could barely survive, and another one for Reed. He's leaving everybody on red today, and no, cannot get the ace.
Still, Reed's like Alpha Who.
Is definitely playing very well right now. The Grixter is the last man alive for eUnited, so it's going to stick down to the site. In a 1v1, you really cannot predict much, but there's so much time left. This is soft wall defense because you're running the Maestro. This is the old Team Liquid strategy.
I mean, I don't know, especially with the health advantage, I favor the Mozzie in this here, especially time. However, I don't know how much intel he has on this plant. Attempt. There we go. Good night.
Can we get a good night in chat, please?
Good round, at least, from Callout. Good C4 throw. And that's part of the reasons I favored Mozzie in that. It's just because he has a C4 to deny. And when you're planting, you're a 0v1 at that point. Bathroom Tellers, there it is. They're going to go for it again. Goyo, again, looking like he's being picked. Possibly the 6th pick to the castle again. I mean, they're going to read into the bomb site for sure, then, especially with the Goyo there being visible. But will they go with the castle? It worked pretty well last time, but I don't know if they need it. Then they're going to go for it. Reed's going to switch off.
Not surprised.
But he was so good on the Maestro. We'll see.
I mean, anybody is good on the Maestro.
That's true. He is.
It's the Alba. You're not playing Maestro, you're playing the Alba.
Yeah, it's true. You're playing a gun with a person attached to it.
It's literally a railgun that fires 81 rounds.
Yeah. And they're all homing bullets.
With long-range sighting on it. It's actually insane how good the Alba is.
Yeah, it is a very strong gun.
I think what we're trying to hint at is, like, maybe it shouldn't be that strong.
Probably not.
Probably
But you know what? There is the option to ban Maestro. So there's that.
Fixed it.
That's what they said is they wanted, especially after Lion, they wanted to allow the players to be able to control the meta a little bit more. And that's what those bans are there for. No one's banning Goyo, so hey, play him. Why not?
So there's the Goyo.
Oh, there's one.
That's pretty standard one.
I like these spots. It forces them to take from office or to try and waste utility and time burning those up early.
Well, the second shield is definitely to block out anybody coming in for the default plant.
Yeah,
so
you almost have to hit that from sandwich if you can even hit that from there, which I don't think you can.
You cannot. The angle is just too
tight, yeah.
Yeah. So if there's somebody on the window, it shuts you down completely.
You might be able to hit it like with a grenade from there.
Yeah, but it's just...
But you certainly can't shoot it from there.
And that's a difficulty with Goyo, is that not only do you have to think about putting the shields in position, but also how do you take them down without overexposing yourself. Obviously, you could just peek around the corner and fire into it, but a lot of times you want to keep yourself a bit safer than just that.
The thing is, though, you can't leave them up. they almost always backfire on you if you leave them
That's
up because
true.
they have the angle to shoot them. Not to mention if Maestro's in play.
Goyo shields work both ways,
They
right?
certainly do, but more so for the defenders. See? There's one down. That's going to slow them down on their entry. Gives Reed the chance to move out of there without getting pushed, but they are droning him. Barbed wire there as well. Call out's going to rotate back out. Pull out the CSG and
Oh.
get demolished from below. Filthy again watching those hatches. Same as he did previously. Worked out better this time. Butters as well picking up Reed. eUnited start to fall apart. Those Goyo shields going off, but they're the ones getting burned.
Yeti turning around the corner. He's got a mute jammer to help him out, but you're definitely not expecting Filthy coming in from below. And that's the spot that you wanted. Pre-firing through the wall. Bit of damage done. No, none of it. Some bullet holes that are being used by the defense as Yeti will take a bullet as he falls back into Fountain. Now, Forrest is watching the hatch, and oh my god, Richter is so close. These are bullet holes. You can't see actually the player behind it. They're looking at one another, and he'll be able to get the down. That's one. That's the sledge out of play for now. There's still a defense down below, so
It's the second time in a row the sledge is the first to go down on this attack.
he's not actually doing much. That's the big thing about it. But at least they'll be able to pick up the sledge in this case. Keeps on firing. There's the EMP being thrown out. Grixer and Forrest are here doubled up. The castle barricade in support. This is huge, but because you have the sledge and just operators in general, you can deal with that barricade relatively easily. Grixer is trying to play a bit more aggressively here. Nitro Cell will be used up, but oh no! Force turns around at the wrong moment. There's a 1-to-1 trade. Grixer will get one. Grixer with two. Grixer with three before he gets taken out by creators. Diffuser's going to be held up here, but the Ash turns around the corner and Filthy does it. Yeti's dead. Tempo Storm secure around.
There's that 3-3 we were expecting. This is going to be a close match between these two teams, especially on a map that both of them seem to not like.
I am just not surprised at all, but this game has definitely been a slugfest so far. Frags has been the name of the game.
Things could turn here, of course, once we go to the other side, but never know. See, armor lockers, will we see that Goyo? Probably not. Ying. If he sticks up, that is a very classic way to push armor lockers. One you don't see too often anymore. It's still somewhat viable, but no, Capitao is definitely a better choice. I agree with that. If you're going to be trying to go for shock and awe, fire works a little bit better, as blinding you does no damage, but fire certainly does.
Yep.
So, we'll see here. I'm a big fan of the Goyo shield when they're going to bring Capitao as well. We saw it work out somewhat for LG, as I was saying, because Capitao's going to try and create fire for their benefit, but then you can create fire back and literally fight fire with fire.
It's like Clash versus Monty, right?
Yeah. Well, then you just deny the whole room, and that works for defenders' advantage rather than attackers. We are going to have Filthy on that pulse, so we'll see how effective he's able to be in terms of either playing upstairs or down to try and help protect this here.
Yeah, I'll be quite intrigued to see how they set up the Maestro for this one. You'll see the first Evil Eye that's been set up here. It looks all the way down into the armory, and you can set things up for it if you just open up the top of the wall. Of course, one of the two soft walls that connect between archives and armory. I wouldn't be surprised to see that opened up at some point. A lot of players will open up maybe at the foot level, but right now we haven't had any plays coming in from the ventilations window.
Yeah.
There's barely been any pressure from there, which, is kind of surprising, but still. This time, eUnited, of course, have switched sides. They'll be playing on this attacking side, and Grixer avoiding any shots coming his way.
You'd be surprised how often just a pre-fire through that kills someone trying to approach on that bridge.
Randomly, someone will be just walking through, and you're like,
it's
what?
Worth a shot. Maybe doing some droning down below. He's maybe looking to cover at least, or take below. Try and kill that pulse, I imagine. He's going to be trying to hunt down Filthy if he can. IQ being banned means they can't hunt him down by just looking through the walls. So Filthy is at the advantage then with that ban in place, which was done by eUnited. So they're now paying the piper for that, if they were to use that. They are going to try and get Armory Wall here open rather quickly, and looks like they will succeed. No successful bandit tricking coming out, so good start for them in that it's less than a minute and a half in. They already have that open, and it looks like possibly no one behind half wall. So that's the other checkpoint, but they have Forest on the Capitao. Makes it pretty easy to clear half wall. If you can peek in and hit that fire arrow, and they can't peek back fast enough, they get burned out, and you can usually hit them on the cross when they try and rotate out. So it is definitely difficult to play that, so probably best that they don't play back there. What they really need now is someone on sandwich window. Once you have that position, it's actually somewhat easy to make this plant with the Capitao hitting the smoke and the fire, someone holding the cross, the rotation from the sandwich window, and then just a lot of utility burn and plant going down. It usually works out pretty well. They have a lot of time left as well to be able to take care of the additional utility device for Evil Eye and also burn out some of the smokes from Crazy. However, Crazy doesn't look like he's throwing them early, so that's good on him to have that control, make them burn a bit more time. But like I said, in the meantime, they're getting down utility, but call out getting downed here. Not great. Now they're going to have to rotate over to pick him up potentially. That's risky to do so. Might kind of have to leave him for a minute, but that means the diffuse planter is not going to be up to setup for this plant, but they do have at least Yeti now playing sandwich window, and that's what they need here.
Yeah, Yeti is really the important linchpin of this attack. Butters, though, will find a read, and there's call-out, though, with the refrag on the Butters, taking down the Jaeger. You take down the Thatcher. It's not really the most important operator at this point. There you go, all the utility being used on in, and this will block a lot of the rotations. It'll really help things out. Yeti will find one kill, and he's watching. Maybe somebody will just jump out the window, but he goes for the reload at the wrong moment. His creators will get one on the Forest. Call-out will find one kill, and Grixer for the second. 10 seconds left. Yeti will walk on, and he'll find the head. That's filthy dead. Excuse me, he'll get shot in the body there. eUnited, again, winning off of frags. You might see a bit of coordination, but I think for both teams, it quickly falls apart and degenerates into a pure knockout fest.
It's really hard to deal with that sandwich window pressure when you have the Capitao doing what he did. You saw him hit a smoke right by the sandwich window area, as well as a firebolt, smoke to cut off the rotation in the small office, along with the firebolt. So not only can you not see, but you can't move. And it's, once you have that sandwich window coverage, the only downside of that, of course, is where you had Yeti miss the rotate that killed the diffuse planter, the Capitao trying to hold that. But that was also because Thermite had gotten down. So you didn't have Capitao able to cover for him as well, because that might have been able to stop the kill on the diffuse plant. So, I mean, it was working out a little bit for Tempo Storm, but because Yeti was pretty much on top of it for the most part and able to clean stuff up towards the end, there's not a whole lot you can do. I mean, mostly all you can do is kind of go for a run out. But you see how risky a run out is. Honestly, they almost need to go for a jump out from vents below, because you saw the way that Yeti was looking, right? You have to watch the jump out from archives. But you can't watch the jump out from archives and vents at the same time as watching the sandwich window. So you have to find some way to almost maybe use the archives hatch, drop down to workshop, rotate over to vents, and jump out while they're distracted with the execute. If you could pull that off, you can counter that. But outside of that, it's difficult.
So this is why, as an attacker, you want to put a Claymore on the ventilation.
And Impact can take it out still, but that's going to kind of telegraph it. So you have to do that early.
Also, one thing I didn't like about the Capitao play is that the crossbow bolts were set in a way that it actually smoked off the...
Yeah, they could have gone a little bit deeper, just so that he had the edge when if someone was crossing small office, the bomb right there, they'd be exposed just before they got to the end of lockers right there.
Exactly, which the whole point is don't smoke yourself, smoke your opponents. And unfortunately...
It's a great philosophy for life.
It is. It really is.
Don't smoke yourself.
You get what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, don't throw the smoke grenade at your feet, basically.
You also have to keep in mind that there's a Maestro play that can see through those, but they gave them so much time to counter the Evil Eyes that it didn't really matter.
Yeah, by that point, all of the work had already been
Honestly, if you see them consistently play Capitao, bring a ward.
That's
I mean, yeah, you can't run through the fire, and Canadian learned that the hard way one time, but you still...
Okay, there's one kill.
Hello.
Can he find a second? Yes, he can. Reed. That's two collected. Butters might have found Yeti, but it's an Ash. It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things between the Mozzie and the Jaeger, but there's the peak. Grixer with a TK and creators for another one. Now that is bad.
That's got to feel bad when you get a TK and then get traded instantly as well on that and just die. That's not looking good for eUnited on this round here, so it looks like we might have a recovery on the Armory Locker site for Tempo Storm. As long as Creators doesn't throw himself away so they can play that 3-man advantage, he should let his other teammates set up. They are going to be able to disable this Evil Eye and then shoot it. Thatcher, you got to shoot
why?
it. Thatcher, shoot it!
Why, Force? Why would you just go? Force, this is literally the one time you shouldn't run.
Well,
Why did he just go? He didn't even use his utility.
maybe the IGL's at fault. Said go, run.
Wait for the teammate to kill the evil eye.
Yeah, it was-
Once that's done, you guys can come in together after
was-
you used your crossbow.
That was just a terrible round.
That was just awful, man.
That was like even the small details like, oh, I'll thatch this evil eye. I'm making sure it's looking so I could still shoot it, and then I'll ignore it and try and challenge the doorway instead. I mean, it wouldn't have done him a ton of good, but he could have backed up into the doorway of CCTV, hit it from there, and then had an ability to move into cover more. Because
I mean, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
At that point, the Capitão just walked in, and
Yeah,
you're like, why?
he's really the one who ruined it, unfortunately.
Why? Stop.
Couldn't see the forest
Stop.
for the trees.
That was the time to stop.
Attackers need to locate and defuse
Well,
bombs.
unfortunately, we're not IGLing them right now, so they're making their own calls. But Armory being one, they'll finally go to vents here.
If you want to hire us, 1-800-CASTERS.
Pretty sure it's a conflict of interest to be IGLing now.
I mean, look, man, if Flynn can cast and
And play. I wouldn't call that playing.
I
I mean, or casting. Let's be
that's true.
You know, when you're able to do two things mediocre, it doesn't make you like a Renaissance man.
Oh,
Love you,
10
Flynn.
seconds left.
look, I hope Flynn's going to
5
Invitational.
seconds left.
Maybe he'll get the host invite.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse.
He's definitely the one candidate for it, right? Not even a team, just Flynn 1v5ing everyone.
Just screaming at them.
Yeah.
Okay, that aside, we were memeing one of our coworkers.
Oh, and Yeti.
There's Yeti.
Screaming. There's Butters down early. That's a good Ash rush there. Good push from Yeti, who's been
Not even a rush. He just fired through. He just see. You were talking about it. You always shoot through this
Well, I just mean,
one
like,
window.
He got up on it because he knew that they pushed out from there last.
You'll just always find something.
There's a lot of good things to fire through here. Reed up there with 11. So the
Alpha
temp
Ma-
sub out fragging right now.
You're going back to France.
Sorry.
Je suis désolé. Perdóname. You have to go.
Sorry. Well, they have control now of CCTV. Trying to set up. They need to control Armory, and then they can start to push a little bit downstairs, but they're still struggling with this wall. However, it's only a minute in. Reed's got to hit that EMP, then they can start to set up for this. I like the cover here from Grixer to make sure no runouts come from the door, as well as from Yeti. Good, they stacked up in a way that they weren't going to shoot each other in the back of the head. That's always nice, especially after that team kill from Grixer last round. Now they can start to set up for more of a push here once they got things open. Opening jail as well. Call it going to be setting that up so they can... I imagine that's going to be for Yeti to push into customs. Drone's lost there, unfortunately, top of metal. So now they're going to start to rotate for downward pressure. No one actually taking advantage of Armory Lockers to press downward from there as well. Buck has been banned, but Sledge was still available. Instead, they, don't have breach charges either. It's just, they don't really want to play a lot of downward pressure, it doesn't look like, from the... Oh, Reed, nice. Continuing his frag fest. Filthy, though, trades it at least. But still, 4v3 now. eUnited at
Bomb
advantage
located by
again.
attackers.
This is why taking top floor and then coming down is usually the best option, but it doesn't matter. Yeti actually just turns around the corner, gets one, and they're ready to get the second one. Beautiful pickup here from Grixer, but it's crazy that it gets Yeti. Just peeking around from the window here. Call is looking for it, but Grixer will be able to take down Crazy. It leaves only one alive. The Valkyrie, Filthy, is low on HP. He's got the MPX. All the walls are being opened up here because a lot of the utility was used upstairs and in jail. Why? Because you were expecting eUnited to push in from the top floor, which they didn't.
Attackers
They just
located
pushed in
a
from
bomb.
jail. It was great play from eUnited to kind of, read things in that way. No pun intended. We'll see how Filthy tries to recover this. He has a Nitro Cell. Even though he's low on HP, he can deny things. It's time that he can play around with. The pre-fire on the corner was very well done, but Reed was ready for it, and he puts... How is it now? Like 13 kills? 12?
I think it's at least 13. Because he got 2 that round. Yeah, 13.
Man.
Looking good for him. Like I said, he wants to keep that job. At the very least, he's hoping to be picked up, as a sub or something from another team. Like, that's the thing is, now he's performing for an audience that could scout him out. So let's say he gets dropped for Alpha, like the plan is. Now everyone's like, well, Reed's maybe a good candidate to pick up.
And this is how new talent is born, really
Yeah.
gets injected into the region.
Or you could do like certain players and just coach and then move into player spots. That's another path, I suppose. Vents again. Second try here.
Attackers need to
See if
locate
they're
and
able to
defuse
do it better
bomb.
this time. They got shut apart pretty bad last time. They got the Nomad in play here to cut off rotations as well.
Attackers have located a bomb.
So it's looking good for maybe eUnited to take it a second time, but I imagine the same plan won't work twice for this, maybe. Although if Yeti stays on fire the way he was playing and Reed doing excellent work as well, that might be hard to contest.
Yeah, he got 2 kills in the previous round and then got promptly shut down. I mean, Yeti's been finding kills, but I don't know. I don't know how effective he's supposed to be for the team, because it seems like the drones are a bit slower from eUnited. A lot of the players are very eager to get in and start.
Especially people like Yeti. But he's always been kind of an engine like that. A lot of times it was on Buck, and Buck being banned, obviously he's going to pick up the Ash instead. I'm almost surprised he doesn't play Zofia. I think it would be a good candidate for him as well, but he's been fine on the Ash, so. I just don't know if Grixer's necessarily been as on top of it, but hey, as I said, he's got 7. Yeti to take down Filthy, though, as he is
Okay.
just fine on that Ash.
Oh, okay. This is, I mean, you were just talking about it. United, this is a great start. They want to confirm at least their singular point
Yeah.
for the day. It's
That's a
minimum.
Nitro cell off the board as well.
Yeah, it's huge.
So there should only be 2 max left from the Mute and the Bandit, although either of them could be carrying something else. The Jaeger with barbed
What?
wire.
Why is he shooting at the wall?
Feels good. Aim practice. No, don't shoot your teammate in the back of the head. Call out standing right in front of him there, just ask for it. Reed looking to go ham again, potentially. They're going to do the job here, opening the wall first, like they did last time, and then we'll see if he goes for jail for the second one. Bandit going for the trick here, and nope, he's forced off by the Zofia lifeline, stunning him. Don't want to try and get caught mid-animation on that and end up dying when the wall explodes.
Good stun, good crowd control play here.
Smart on the players as well to move off the Bandit, just not sticking that was the right call.
Yeah, at a mid of 40, this is actually great if you're eUnited. You have control of armory, you've pushed players back. Yeah, you've only gotten 1 kill, but you've done a decent chunk of damage on the
Jail's
castle.
open again.
Jail's open. Now you have your flank that you can use to push in. It's all going up eUnited. They have their claymores that are ready because, well, claymores are just so difficult to spot nowadays. And Yeti's in. He's got to do the same exact thing as we saw him doing before with the breaching round. And I'll have another angle to play, actually.
I like that right there where he sets that up, the angle to be able to contest for anyone rotating around behind him. Smart hit towards the passport doorway. Grixer needs to practice shooting those cams, but at least, hey, they killed the default cams. It's always a good start.
There you go,
There's a player
stuns.
close by.
That double destruction ones, right?
Yeah.
Double impacts. They were used one
Oh.
side and the other. Grixer, you got the angle. It's Dream to find one. Actually, eUnited are going to go for the plant right now. It's kind of getting a bit slow. Oh, no! Dream finds one and Crazy with the Nitro on a forest. They're so low on HP right now. There's 2 players so low. You could turn around the corner, you get 1 kill. Crazy is full HP, and Dream has barely anything left. Callouts on the floor. This is actually very smart. It's very difficult to deal with a player in this position, but Dream, he's so low, he's dead now. It's Crazy on his own. The wall that was opened up previously by Yeti might just play to Tempo's advantage here. Shotgun being pulled up by Crazy. He's going to go for the 1v1 fight. He'll do damage. No, not enough. Grixer takes him out. eUnited secure the round, and they are 1 away from total and absolute victory here. Their first point in Pro League ever has been guaranteed, and they might be able to get 2 more on top of that. To
I have a tip for both these teams.
What is it?
Stop playing Vents. Like, both teams have lost it twice. They can't win it. Don't do it anymore. Not that they can afford to, because if they lose again, it's over for Tempo
done.
Storm on this map. But man, Vents has just not been working the attack strats. Especially we got to see a good attack strat, I think, overall from eUnited. Just the way they hit the checklist. They weakened a lot of the positions of Tempo Storm. They set up good flanks. People like Yeti were able to get in and do some damage. But it was also the coverage and the plant. Like, once they had 2 people upstairs trying to contest Armory, still that opened up an opportunity for the plant to go down, especially with Grixer covering rotates. So they couldn't rotate from the bathroom teller side. Just really holding it down very smartly after opening things up in a somewhat safe way. We'll see Rookblade everyone get t-shirts this time. Interesting, don't see a lot of Rook play these days. I think Rook actually got a bit of a nerf as well. Kind of an indirect nerf. When they changed the way that limb penetration works, now that limbs can be penetrated, I think that was the biggest nerf to Rook overall. Because he was the one who often benefited the most from limb penetration in terms of his animations, where he would often have his arm blocking a lot of his head. But also, in general, when you ADS, you still end up blocking a lot of your head with your shoulders. Not to mention the collars that tend to count as your body instead of your neck. So overall, I think he's a little bit weaker in that sense, in terms of headshots being a little bit more likely now on him. But that being said, he hasn't played a lot these days, so it's hard to say how much that might have affected him. They are going to do the opening jail routine still here for Yeti, even though that's not the bomb site. They still want to clear the bottom floor, and that's smart to do. You want to make sure that no one's able to play down there. That typically was his job as a Buck before, so he's still playing into that same sort of role of, like, my job is to make sure downstairs is clear because I'm the entry fragger. Everyone else is going to worry about the top floor. It looks like they could actually be going for offices. Nope, he's just sitting in Claymore. They're going to go again, I think, for Armory then. They have what they need. They have that Capital again. I imagine Yeti's going to end up on the sandwich window. Kind of what we saw before. We'll see if they smoke cover themselves on accident. You want to, like you said before, you don't want to smoke yourself. But Filthy getting smoked first again. He has been struggling a little bit on that Jaeger.
Yeah, that's not a great start. And Reed gets Butters here for free. That's the alibi.
This jump out's not working out. Both these teams trying to play aggressive when they can, and it's not always working. Grixer has taken a little bit of damage, but that's certainly not enough.
There you go. There's where he died. He went up for the classic vault in Vents and ended up dying outside the window. All right. This is not great for Tempo Storm, I think.
Yeah, this looks like it could be over here soon. If the pace continues from eUnited, of course, they are getting a little slowed down now, trying to find the last 3 players to getting set up for an execute. Now they don't have a Claymore on that window, though, the Vents windows. Remember what I was saying before about jump outs on there, and now he's going to have to potentially worry about those as well as upstairs on the Archives windows. Yeah. The other Vents of Sword, there's the ACs right there.
Who knows, we might have gotten to this to a point in time where EU is winning an NA, so...
Certainly try.
This might be the game. This might be the game that starts it all off. Some players laying in the back that's not really spotted. We're not really sure even who that is. I think it's the Maestro. It is down.
Nice long angle with that ACOG.
It is. And he's trying to go for the run out. He's got creators as well to take up his position, but double stun's coming in from Grixer. Lock him in position. Dream will be the one lost there, but Yeti is in a perfect spot. He's going to spot a second one, but gets shot from the side. Creators on the run out. They'll get more than enough time for the plant to come down. Grixer finds 1 kill as 1 player is downed and out. That's Cal. And, well, that's the Thermite on the floor. It's a retake now from Crazy. Around 30 or so HP. There's 1 player on the floor, as you can see behind, I believe, what is a reinforced wall, at least what's left of it. Crazy turning around, pre-firing every single angle. It's got so little ammunition. Actually, less than 30 rounds left in total, 20. So left, he fires to all the bodies, gets 1 kill, 9 bullets left here. Can he find 2 kills with it? No, he cannot. eUnited finds round number 11 here on the victory. And they'll be able to win this out. Tempo Storm had the comeback. They were basically inching in one after the other, but a 7-4 is what we're left with at the end of this matchup for eUnited.
It is great to see the player, that 10 player, just do so good. Reed definitely played to the top of his ability, and I think Yeti was a good pickup as well. His team looking pretty good. I got to say, eUnited impressive towards the end there. Grixer as well, up to 10. He had some great standout rounds in terms of just great coverage towards the end, playing that Zofia well. Overall, looked pretty strong. I mean, their defense was a little bit weak, but their attacks looked very good. It just it seemed like there much could do about it. But that being said, Tempo Storm had a great attempt with the last 3 players in that round. They managed to kill the Capitao and then the jump out onto Yeti. onto the archives window, getting the kill from there as well. That was a great start to take back a spell, especially since you saw a player at that time trying to cross the smoke, Yeti missing his shots and then immediately dying. They had some room to play, but since it was already like I think a 5v3 or 4v3, huge advantage to EU that TempoStar wasn't able to come back from.
I'm still not sold on the team's performance today.
Oh, yeah.
Even after how United were able to win and the mistakes that both teams were
Both
doing.
these teams lacking quite a bit of experience.
Yeah.
At least Yeti has quite a bit, as he's been in Pro League a few times now.
But in general, I think this doesn't bode too well. There's a lot of things that both of these teams will be looking back on at the end of this play day and are like, okay, this is what we need to work on. This is the real test, the real experience. Challenger League is not the same as being in here.
Very
specifically not in NA.
Yeah.
And, you know, Tempo Storm will have to play against LG in a couple of days, and then eUnited have to play TSM. It's only 2 days. That's barely enough to prep.
That's true. That's not a lot of time to look back at your mistakes.
We have an interview, though, so let's have a quick chat with the coach, United's execration. There you go. Hey, Jacob. Just to be sure, we're supposed to say execration, right?
Yeah, that's it. Most people call me X, though.
Okay, well, there you go. X, my man. Welcome. Congratulations on your first ever victory here with the squad in Pro League. Your first day, a 7-4 against Tempo Storm. Now, first of all, can you shed some more light on how things are going with Alfama before we dig deeper into the matchup?
I would say things are going pretty good. You know, we've been trying to integrate both and trying to split time with them. But Alfama's been a really good, you know, kind of secondary IGL and somebody that brings a lot of experience and kind of in-game knowledge. So it really helps us a lot.
So hopefully we'll be able to see him playing with the squad very soon, as soon as the paperwork is done, of course, part of it.
Right.
But hey, Reed, is he going to be part of the team consistently? We see him here and there, or is it just subbing until Alfama is ready for the spot?
I mean, I think we'd all like to have him, you know, long term, just because he's a great player.
Yeah.
He definitely doesn't get a lot of credit. And he deserves a lot more, honestly. People really doubt him, so this is definitely a platform for him to show his skills.
Yeah, and you know, if it doesn't continue his career with United, I'm sure a lot of teams will be looking at him and saying like, maybe this is, you know, a player we should consider in the future. This is how a lot of careers get started, right? But both of the teams really looked super frag heavy in this first matchup. From your perspective, you know, watching, listening to the players and how they're doing their thing in the game, did it seem that it was just the lack of experience, the coordination under these sort of pressure positions, or what was it really that wasn't going well for the strats to work?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? You kind of cut out.
So for me, both teams looked very frag heavy. It seemed like maybe there were some of the strategies that were falling apart and it devolved into fragging. From your perspective, you were watching this. What was really happening in the team that wasn't allowing your strats to come through?
I think it's just gaining that experience. I mean, you know, we're both coming from Challenger League. We both are trying to adapt to kind of different tempos, and you know, it's a little bit of a different game now. So we're trying to kind of be even keel with how we handle our rounds and kind of adapting our tempos and being able to adjust. And so, I mean, I think both teams are kind of learning that, and we'll get there.
Mm-hmm. Of course, it's your first time under fire in this way, so expected, but of course we'll have through the season to learn through things. However, it seemed like Vents was not really the site for both of the teams. Can you walk me through some of the mistakes that you were seeing from your side, because you guys seem just a bit too spread out?
No, I mean, I think it's just you know, a little bit more preparation, and I think we'll be able to close some of those gaps that we have. But I definitely think that it's a site that you know, it's been played a lot, and we're trying to find new ways to hold it. So I mean, it's just a matter of kind of experimenting and then seeing what works.
All right, that's it. Congratulations on your victory here for the first time execration. It must feel great, even with the way that things ended up happening. I'm sure you guys will look back at this and will learn so much from your first experience. Anything you'd like to say to all the fans out there? Because I'm sure there's a lot of people that are just fans of the org, maybe first time watching Rainbow Six. Anything you'd like to say to them?
Just thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all the support that we've gathered, and I really hope you guys continue to tune in and just support our team. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you very much, and congratulations again on your victory. We'll be seeing your squad playing in just a couple of days on Wednesday, January the 8th. You guys will be going up against TSM, so really looking forward for that matchup. Thanks so much, and good night.
Appreciate it.